Right. So we're still working through all of that with the attorneys. I mean, this is a very new case. It was just filed, I guess, on Sunday, and so these things take a little bit of time. So, but working through that, but definitely going to vigorously defend it, stand up for myself, and also look at any countersuits that we have.
So you acknowledge you did have a relationship with Jamie?
I did. I did. Yes.
How long had you guys been seeing each other?
Well, again, with it being a lawsuit, what I've said is simply this: that from 2019, and then until 2022, which was in December, it was what I would say an on again, off again, very casual, nothing consistent type relationship. And of course, all that time, fully understood that she was separated.
So she told you that, or?
Yes.
Okay. Did she ever?
And in fact, in her statement that she issued, I think she even reiterated that she had been separated for, I think she may have said for years, as I recall.
Did she ever talk to you about like her, that she had left him or was still living in the house, or any, like, did she tell you those kind of details about?
Really didn't get into the details of those kinds of things.
Why did you end up meeting with him at Biscuitville the day after?
Well, he wanted to. He reached out and wanted to meet with me, and so I just tried to find a. Okay. And it was at breakfast, so it was a public location that I thought would be appropriate to have a conversation. And when I was there, I acknowledged, that there'd been a relationship with him. I told him, but also that I understood that they'd been separated.
So was it just the two of you, or was she there too?
No, it was just the two of us.
Oh, okay. So he had asked for it.
He did. Mm-hmm.
What about where the lawsuit says that he said you offered if there was anything you could do for him, and he took that as offering some sort of political favor?
No, and I don't even know that was even said. What I wanted to do was, try to clear the air, make sure he understood where I was, and certainly apologized if indeed, with his assertion. But I was very consistent that I always understood that they were separated, and was shocked about this situation. But I mean, at the end of it, I mean, it sounds awkward. We kind of actually hugged it out, if you will, because because that, and he made the comment. He said in a way that he could. His comment, he said, well, I get that he couldn't be mad at me because I never made a vow to him. That was one of the things he said. And I said, well, I'd like to see us, just move on. And I think if I could, talk to you or anything, glad to do it, because I was trying to make peace at that point.
So did she ask you to meet with him, or did, obviously at some point she told you that, like, he knew about your relationship and that he wanted to talk to you. I mean, you agreed to. Right.
No, so. She said he wanted to meet and gave me his phone number, and he and I talked. I don't remember who called whom, but yeah.
Yeah. So are you guys still seeing each other at all?
No.
I mean, was that the end point, I guess? After things,
and again, I want to be careful getting into the details of the lawsuit, right? But we're.
So with her job, he accuses, aside from about his divorce and everything, like, he accuses you of using your position. So, yes. Did you ever, because of her job though, did you ever recuse yourself from certain legislation or stay out of it in any way? Like, as far as, because her job is, it was created by the legislature, it's funded by the legislature.
So as far as I know, there was no legislation that, she was advancing or working on that was of issue. So I don't even know how, in truth, I don't even know how long that position's existed. I believe it's existed for some time, probably before she ever had the job.
What about him saying that she told him that she didn't want to break it off because she thought that would affect her work in any way, or that she wanted to end it and you didn't?
She's told me she never said such a thing, because that simply is not true. Yeah. Not true, not something I would do, it's something I would submit that just makes it more salacious, makes it more of an issue there. But that simply is not the case. I mean, it feels like a lot of this is, frankly, politics coming into play with it, but again, still a few days into where we received this lawsuit, so we're having to work through it. But no, that bothers me a lot. But you know, her statement's very powerful on that point, where she said that didn't happen.
What about the lawsuit accusation that you're asking other people for sexual favors, for political favors?
Totally false, right? All those comments, things to make it more salacious, to make it more juicy. I'm very offended by it. It bothers me a lot, and it's completely untrue.
Why do you think he would say that? I mean, it's just part of it.
I don't know.
Okay. Have you, I know in the past you had dated a lobbyist some years ago. Have you had relationships with people that are, like, interact with lawmakers, that where there could be these questions of, you know, policy decisions made on personal reasons and that sort of thing?
No, I mean, it's, you know, no, and I think it's important to point out with respect to Ms. Lassiter, the position she's in, you know, while it's, you know, a state government job like hundreds and hundreds of other jobs in the state, she doesn't report here. She reports to the judicial division and to the clerks of court. I have no sway, no control, nothing over that, would never try that. And so it's, you know, his allegations simply do not add up. The facts are, you know, do not lend themselves to it being accurate at all.
So you said you'll have a countersuit. So you said there's no, okay, so she, like, when you first started seeing her, did you know she was separated? Did you know she was married or not? I mean, or that, like, was that, like, at some point she told you that they were separated?
I mean, it was before anything, it was made very clear she was separated.
Okay. Do you think there's any that you shouldn't, you talked about her not reporting to you, but to have any sort of relationship with someone where they deal with lawmakers, or it's working in the same building? I mean, the ethics around it, or just if you should recuse yourself with different things like that?
You know, I think, I mean, you know, the rules that are out there, certainly I didn't violate those, and there's rules that allow legislators to date other legislators, to date staff. We, of course, have some staff members who work at the General Assembly who were married to legislatures. They work as their legislative assistant. There have been folks who've met each other in a work environment just like other places. What I think would be an issue is if someone were trying to use their position of control in something like that. So that's, and again, that's probably why he alleged it, but it simply isn't accurate, and I'm glad that Ms. Lassiter confirmed it.
So have you had relationships with other legislators?
No.
Not at all? I mean, obviously you know that has come up this session. No. Okay. I mean, you are in a position as speaker, then somebody who, I mean, you lead the caucus, you lead the House, as far as, do you think that there should be something that where it's different for you than the rules around dating other lawmakers, staff, or lobbyists, or anything like that? Is there things that you think about as far as, like, what you, about your position and the perception, I guess, too, because of things coming up like this and lawsuits and whatever else?
Well, I will say, someone being sued and having these allegations against you certainly is going to reassess a lot of things, and no question about that. But at the end of the day, I know I didn't do anything wrong from a legal standpoint, that I believed fully that she was separated. But I will tell you, as this member, certainly going forward on anything, I will be much more careful and much more scrutiny for anything, probably even having a bite to eat with anybody, just to be truthful with you. And I think that's unfortunate, but that's the circumstance that I'm in.
What about the stuff?
Probably
One more. Okay. The stuff in the lawsuit with the, I think you already told Oshner this, but if you want to say anything else about the, there's someone on camera and like this sort of, okay. So you don't have any involvement in that?
No involvement in that at all.
Okay. So that's just not, don't know who that person is, or?
Don't know.
So, okay. All right.
Thank you.
Okay.